Are you ready to embrace the best years of your life? Well, welcome to Boomers and Beyond, the podcast that celebrates the 55 plus community and everything this exciting chapter has to offer. Everyone, I'm your host, Antionette Blake, better known as the DE Diva, and every week I'll dive into topics that matters to us the most. From health and wellness, travel, family dynamics, finances, family, friends. We're going to explore them all. Going to have some good advice, but I'm going to ask for yours as well, because there'll be lively topics about aging vibrantly, building strong relationships, and guess what? Making the most of retirement. So go grab yourself a cup of coffee or tea, even wine or juice, and settle in with me as we navigate this exciting world of Boomers and Beyond. And don't forget, subscribe to the show and leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And share it with your family, your friends, your bae, and your boo too, because this conversation is all about you and me. So let's get started with Boomers and Beyond. Hello, and welcome back to Boomers and Beyond. I'm your host, Antionette Blake, and I'm so glad that you're tuning in today. It is hot in Delaware. OMGZ. I hope you guys are all staying cool. Today, I want to talk about independence, freedom, and living life on your own terms. And I'm not just talking about the 4th of July. I'm talking about the freedom of being on the open road. That's right. The ability to jump in your car and go wherever you please, to visit family, run errands, or simply enjoy a scenic route. Just drive. It's a great part of our daily lives. But let's be honest. You know, we've accumulated a lot of wisdom and experience, and our bodies have changed too. And sometimes those changes can suddenly or not so suddenly impact our driving abilities. This is a topic I know it's going to be a bit sensitive, even a little bit scary, because it touches on our mind daily. And it's one of the most important conversations that we can have for not only our own safety, but for the safety of everyone on the road. So in episode number 46 of Boomers and Beyond, we're going to be talking about aging behind the wheel, making smart decisions about driving and mobility. We're going to explore the common age-related changes that can affect our driving. We'll talk about how to honestly assess our own driving skills. And most importantly, I'm going to provide you with some proactive steps and resources to stay safe on the road for as long as possible. And for when the time does come, right, when you're considering alternatives, maintaining your independence, even without the car keys, is something that we need to talk about. So let's fasten our seatbelts, take a deep breath, and navigate this important discussion together. Why? Because informed decisions lead to safer roads and lasting independence. All right. Let's talk. I started thinking about this not only as I'm getting older, but the traffic and the people that are on the road now, it's not getting any better. So let's start by understanding why driving can become more challenging as we age. And I'm not passing judgment on anybody, but it's natural. We have to acknowledge that our bodies are going through some changes. So just think about it, like you have to adjust recipes, right? So like with me, I'm a type 2 diabetic. So there's certain things that I can add or not add when I'm cooking. That's the same thing with adjusting our driving habits and our awareness. And one of the key areas is age related vision. Yes, this is a big one. I mean, my eyes have been so dry. I have to use eye drops in the morning. Our eyes naturally undergo changes. We might experience things like reduced night vision. I don't like driving at night. The glare from the oncoming headlights, they become more intense, and it gets harder to see even in low light. We also have decreased peripheral vision, right? As our side vision narrows, it makes it harder to spot cars or pedestrians coming up on the side. We also may be slower to adapting to light changes. Moving from bright sunlight into a tunnel or from a well lit area into shadow takes longer for our eyes to adjust. Conditions such as cataracts or glaucoma, this can also further impact the vision. So, again, night driving is not something that I enjoy doing. I am so happy that I do have an opportunity to ride with other people, my sorority sisters, because I just prefer to just drive during daylight hours. Another age related change that can impact our driving is hearing. While it's not as directly critical as vision for seeing the road, diminished hearing can make it harder to hear sirens, horns, and sometimes even train crossings. So make sure we get our ears checked. We have to make sure that we can hear our surrounding sounds. Another concern is reaction time and reflexes, right? Our reflexes are naturally going to slow down a bit. And that means it's going to take us a bit longer to react to sudden braking, unexpected obstacles in the road, changing traffic signals. Even a fraction of a second can make a difference on the road. Another thing to consider is flexibility and strength. You know how you get those stiffness in your joints, especially in your neck and your shoulders? Sometimes that can make it harder for you to turn your head to check for blind spots or look behind you when you're backing up. And yeah, I know there's cameras in most of these cars, but if you're anything like me who learned how to drive in the 70s, I don't care if there's a camera that backs up, I'm still going to look behind me. So, you got to be able to turn your head. So if you do some stretching exercises in the morning, that's great. Leg stiffness. Oh my gosh, that can affect how quickly you can move your foot from the accelerator to the brake. So think about that too. Practice, while you're sitting down, while you're watching TV or at dinner or whatever. Practice, flexing your foot, your legs. That'll keep your body stronger. And last but not least, and this is vital, 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 because why? I'm going to tell you. Medication and health conditions. As we talked about previously, there are medications that can cause drowsiness, dizziness, or impaired judgment. Chronic conditions like arthritis, diabetes, which is me, type 2 diabetes, can affect the vision and our nerve function. And cognitive changes can also impact driving ability. Now remember, these changes happen gradually and they don't affect everyone at the same rate. And I'm not here to scare anybody off the road, but I want you to empower yourself. Be aware of these changes because, again, I lost my sister in 1992 in a horrific car accident. My uncle was driving, and I found out later that he was taking a medication that slowed down his reflexes. And that was what caused their death. And I never, ever, ever, never want to have myself or my family to go through that again. So please be safe on the road. Check your vision, your hearing, your reaction time, your flexibility, but don't drive if you're taking medication or have any health conditions. So, in that being said, How do you know? How do you know when it's time to make a change? You know, this is honest self assessment. And sometimes you can get help from a trusted friend or trusted loved one. It's not about losing your independence, it's about maintaining safety and protecting yourself and others on the road. So if you start to think about it, here are some questions or signs I want you to think about. Self-reflection questions. Ask yourself this. Do you find yourself getting lost on familiar routes more often? Do you find yourself or do you feel uncomfortable driving at night, driving in the heavy rain, or driving in heavy traffic? Have you had any near misses or minor fender benders recently? They're not typical for you. Do other drivers frequently honk at you, or do you get tickets for traffic violations? Are you getting nervous or anxious about driving even on short trips? Do you feel tired or sleepy when driving even during the day? Do you find yourself missing traffic signals or signs, driving through a stop sign or not slowing down when you see a light turn yellow? Sometimes even our family members or our close, friends will say, "Hey, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself." And this is tough to hear, but listen to them with an open mind because they care about you and your safety. So if there's someone that you can ask them, ride with you, ask them to come with you to see if they notice anything. Now, there's also, if you don't have anybody, you can do a professional driving assessment. Many areas, check AAA, I mean, not AAA, yeah, maybe AAA and AARP. They have specialized driving assessment programs for older adults. And this may be good, find out if they have something in your area because it will help you determine if it's time to think about giving up those keys. And they have occupational therapists or even other experts in driving rehabilitation. They can evaluate your skills in a safe environment and provide personalized recommendation, whether it's for refresher training, modifications to your vehicle, or alternative transportation plans. And check your local hospitals, rehabilitation centers, senior citizen centers, and places like that to see if you can find out if you can get a driver's assessment. And also the DMV. There are certain rules in different states. So I'm in Delaware, and there's some states that require more frequent license renewals or vision tests as you age. So check out the DMV in your area and find out what's going on. And having an honest conversation about these points is the very first step towards a safer driving future, whatever that looks like for you. Now, I wanted to continue more on taking these proactive steps because this is important. Usually, I do this podcast, hit it and quit it and be done. But I want you to empower yourself. I want you to be proactive to make sure that you enhance your driving safety and expand your years beyond the wheel, but responsibly. So let me give you these steps you need to take to make sure that you're safe and you can stay behind the wheel for a long, long, long time. We know some people say, oh, they're 90 some years old and they're still out there driving. Well, those 90-year-olds are still out there driving. They're doing a good job. We got to make sure that you're doing a good job as well. So the first thing I want you to do is make sure that you prioritize regular medical checkups. Get your eye exams, get your vision checked, right? Make sure that you don't have like cataracts or glaucoma or any macular degeneration, right? You want to make sure. Get your hearing tests. Get those, make sure that if you have any hearing loss, you might need to get a hearing aid, right? They might recommend a hearing aid. When I talked about medication, remember that's vital. Talk to your doctor or your pharmacist about how the medication that you're taking might affect your driving. And if you have any stiffness or pain that alters your ability to check your blind spots or to react quickly, a therapist, if you could do a physical or occupational therapist that can give you some exercises to improve your flexibility, to strengthen you for driving. There's another thing you can do is enroll in a driver refresher course. You can do that. There are organizations out there. AARP, they offer the smart driver courses specifically designed for us older drivers, and they cover courses like defensive driving techniques, rules for the road, updates, and strategies for navigating challenging situations. And guess what? When you complete them, you can qualify for discounts on your auto insurance. So check it out. And remember, most of us that got our licenses in the 70s or earlier, things were a lot different than they are now. So think about getting a refresher course. In your car, adapt your car to you. Adjust your seats. Make sure that you have good visibility over your steering wheel and you're close enough to your pedals. Make sure that steering wheel height is comfortable and you can see above the dashboard. Make sure your mirrors are properly adjusted to minimize blind spots. Get those big rear view mirrors that you can add to the current rear view mirror. My son bought us those so that we can see not only behind us, but on the side. And you can order those online. I'll leave a link. When I upload this to my blog, I will leave links to all of these products. The new cars, wow, yeah, they have blind spot monitoring, like those lights, those flashing lights there. I bought my husband a rear view mirror camera, which is great, especially in today's environment. I got that from, I think, Best Buy. There's automatic emergency braking or lane departure warnings. All of these are new car tech that are so great, but don't rely on them. Again, like I said, I have a backup mirror, but I will turn my head before I back up anywhere. So, think about that. And think about this, your strategic driving habits. Maybe you want to avoid rush hour, drive off peak, limit your night driving. Like I said, I don't like going out and driving at night. Stick to your daylight hours, avoid bad weather. Stay in if it's foggy, rainy, icy, slippery, whatever. It's safer to be at home. And plan out your routes. Know where you're going so that you're avoiding last minute turns or confusion. We have maps and Wave and all that on our phones, and we can, put our phone properly on our dashboard or wherever to give us turn by turn direction. If you're going on a long trip, take a break. Go to the rest stop, stretch, stay alert, stop at Wawa, Royal Farms, whatever. Get out, stretch so that you're not just tired while you're driving. And absolutely, positively, no drinking and driving, no alcohol, no impairing drugs, no smartphones, hand-free only. That's it. That's what you got to do. And if this is not, going to be good for you, think about alternatives. This is not about giving up the keys to your car. It's just thinking of a different way. If you're thinking about, I don't feel like driving, find out about public transportation. There's DART and there's buses and there's shuttles. There's lots of things. Ride sharing, Uber, Lyft. Talk to your family, your friends, your bae, your boo, your sorority sisters, your fraternity brothers. Share rides, right? And last but not least, look for those volunteer driving programs that are specifically made for seniors, us boomers and beyond. So again, I want you guys to be safe, be proactive, because this means that you're in control of your decisions rather than having someone dictate what you can and cannot do. Now, again, this has been a crucial conversation. Aging and driving is a journey. And just like any other journey, it requires awareness, adaptation, and smart planning. And it's about protecting your independence, but also about ensuring the safety of yourself and everyone on the road. So if you have anything that I want you to, listen, share this with others, because if, what are you doing? What have you done to stay safer on the road? I want to know. Tell me if there's anything here that I missed leave me a message. I want to hear from you. Share your thoughts, share your experiences. And when you're sharing this podcast on social media, use the hashtag boomers and beyond. If you want to send me an email, please send me an email. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me on Boomers and Beyond, for supporting me, because the conversations that we're having are vital for us, Boomers and Beyond. So until the next time, drive safely, plan wisely, and keep embracing every moment of this incredible chapter of life. See ya. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger. I want to thank you all for tuning in today's episode of Boomers and Beyond. I hope you enjoyed the show. And don't forget, subscribe and leave a comment and share it with your friends. You can find me on all my social media platforms. And you know what? This podcast is on Apple and Spotify and Google and iHeart. They're all out there. Just ask for Boomers and Beyond. And if you have a question or a topic suggestion, send an email to me at ablake48@gmail.com. And if there's a topic that you want me to explore on this show, make sure you leave that as well. I'm also actively seeking sponsors who cater to the amazing 55 plus community. So if you have a business or a service that aligns with my listeners' interests, I'd love to hear from you. Send me an email. You know how to do that. ablake48@gmail.com. Don't forget, join us next Saturday for another exciting episode packed with information and inspiration for living your best life after 55. Boomers and Beyond is hosted by Buzzsprout, and the music is by Mass O Beats from freetouse.com. See ya. It's the DE Diva.